We just went through our first audit, no tax implications for anybody, literally like industry setting precedent for no tax implications participating in a fund directly with your crypto. So we can apply that to the tokenization of these funds and the products that we're creating. Full audit. The way that we've structured this that I would say is different than the other managers in the space is the clients participate in the good and the bad with us. We're not giving a guaranteed rate irrespective of the returns in the fund. And the reason being is, we don't ever want to, how do I say it? I don't want to go down that road because I think Doppler are good people. They have a VPN. Everybody that's doing DeFi has a VPN around the US and they geofence it. So you shouldn't be participating if you're onshore. They're literally compromising them and they can get in trouble for you participating. So we want to be the conduit for that. We want to work with great managers like themselves and other people that are doing innovative things on the XRPL to be able to generate returns and create an ecosystem of those players at Digital Wealth Partners so that you can participate legally here in the US with us. And again, that's not to like corner the market, but there's just a lot of qualifications here in the US that are very difficult to navigate and compliance and many other fiduciary requirements that the SEC and the CFTC have on people that are managing money. And if you don't have the right things or personnel or compliance in place, you can end up in jail. And that's why, Binance isn't here in the US. A lot of these foreign exchanges do a look through and they don't want any US investors to be able to participate in their ecosystems because they're concerned that the SEC is going to become malicious again and come back after people after Gary Gensler and the whole thing that happened through regulation, through enforcement. So all that being said, we want to be that bridge. We want to be that conduit that allows people to participate across the board in these different opportunities. We'll continue to look for great partners and potential partners like Doppler Finance, like the one you mentioned. Craig, he says, Mr. Muscles. Not what he used to be, but I'm still holding down. He says, been following a long time, now serving soldier in Scotland. I have a decent bag over 35,000 XRP, soon to be more. Who is the best UK for institutional custody before price appreciates? We're it, my man. There's not anybody else that provides the same level of institutional custody and oversight that we do. However, I would say, one of the best custodians over there in the UK is going to be Archax. We know Graham and Simon and the guys over there very well. The only hesitation that we've ever had on working with them, because they have great infrastructure, they use Ripple custody, they use Fireblocks, they have a money market that's built on XDC, they have a bunch of cool stuff. They, won't work with retail directly. You have to have a corporation or work with a manager or have over a certain amount of assets in order to participate in their custody. And then two, they don't have crime insurance. After going to Bermuda this week, I'm hopeful that the underwriting and the cost is going to come down on digital asset insurance here in the next 6 months. And a lot of these other providers that have just held out on that because it's too expensive will start providing it. Archax is on our short list of custodians that we would love to partner with if they would just get that in place. Unfortunately for them and all these other custodians, it's really like 1% to 2% of whatever the policy is per year just to provide that insurance. So if you wanted to provide a $100 million policy on the accounts, you'd have to pay somewhere between $1 and $2 million a year for that policy. And how are you going to recoup that cost? Right? Like, unless you have other financial products that you're building out that people participate in where you're clipping fees, you got to charge AUM fees, and it's pretty egregious. You're not even making any margin, right? Like, you're having to pay the insurance company 2%. You got to charge people 3 or 4% just to, make enough money to be able to do it. So, because of Anchorage's infrastructure and the way that their license is structured, their cost on the insurance is significantly lower. That also tells you, how secure their infrastructure is. If Lloyd's of London was willing to underwrite that risk at a much lower cost, then that tells you, something about the infrastructure that they have. So hopefully, at some point in the future, anybody that's using Ripple custody, Ripple will pass some insurance onto. I don't know if they're watching this, but that would help us out and would encourage us to go work with our checks over there. But all that being said, that would be who I'd look at, post price appreciation. If you are, an institution at that point and you have enough assets, happy to make introductions over there. But again, in the short term, I think, we're going to be your best solution after things go. John, Mr. Burnett, he says, everybody calling me Mr. Muscles, aka Legend. Thank you, dude. I don't have any amount of XRP. Have the amount of XRP, X amount, hint Roman numeral, to join DAG until price gets over 100. But what can I do in the meantime except DCA? Is there a checklist somewhere? I wish I had like a bunch of cool stuff, outside of joining the mastermind and kind of educating yourself, surrounding yourself with the right professionals. You can do those things now.